Okay, so this is one that you do not need to write, but again, after Pearl Harbor, FDR and Marshall, who's the Army Chief of Staff, begin to mobilize and get ready for war. Okay, so increased manpower, increased money going in, so more soldiers getting ready to go to war. Okay, women are also taking a huge part in the war effort. Okay, so we saw this a little bit in World War I. So when the men leave, the women have to take over the jobs. Okay, so again, you're seeing it in these industrial jobs or these factories. Okay, so some plus sides, again, giving women more independence, but that is taking them out of the domestic role. Okay, so if the father went away to war and your mother's working the factory, okay, we see it kind of a change in the family dynamics. You do see a famous symbol. I'm sure you have seen this before. Okay, Rosie the Riveter comes into play. Okay, so you know it's just a symbol of working women during the war. Okay, so using women as that industrial power. So main thing you need to know is in the red. All right, now we're talking about specific ways that women could serve in the military forces. Okay, the first one you need to know is the WACs. Okay, the Women's Auxiliary Army Corps. Okay, so again, this is Army using women for non-combat duties. So again, working around the base, delivering messages, things like that. Okay, waves, if you think about an ocean, the ocean has waves. Okay, this is a naval force used by women volunteers. Okay, so again, waves, women accepted for voluntary emergency service. Okay, so similar to the WACs. Okay, the WAVES is the Navy program. Okay, so they did not serve overseas. Again, not active duty, but they served as nurses, doing the clerical work, the paperwork, messages, and communications. WASPs. What do WASPs do? They fly. Okay, again, these are Women's Air Force Service pilots. They perform non-combat duties. Okay, so again, they're kind of dividing up the work. The men are going to take on the combat duties. Women are, again, delivering messages, other services that are directly out of the fighting. Okay, again, very similar. How do we get people on board behind the war effort? Okay, so again, that idea of propaganda, propaganda, propaganda. How do we persuade these people to participate and give more? Okay, so you need to know the Office of War Information. Okay, again, get those things in red. Promoted patriotism. Okay, using that propaganda. Again, some examples. Positive messages towards the Americans, negative messages towards those Axis powers. War Production Board, again, most of this we are seeing is very, very similar to World War I, so we're going to go through it quickly. This ensured the military had the resources it needed, okay, meaning we're going to put all of that effort, all of that production back into war materials, okay, increase in jobs. Okay, so an example, you do not need to write this down, but here's an example of an industry gearing towards, we know Ford makes cars, okay, they're switching gears, and this is going to produce airplanes. War bonds, exactly like we talked about in World War I, okay, temporary loan that you give the government, okay, the benefit back, you may give $100 in a bond, okay, and you would get interest back. Rationing, again, just like we talked about with World War I home front, okay. How do we make a little go a long way? So we talked about the food stamps. Gas is going to be rationed. Anything that the soldiers could use, you see American citizens begin to cut back on. Okay, so again, like books and stamps, you get an allotted amount or a certain amount that you can use each month, and this helps kind of measure it out. Victory gardens. Again, how can we conserve food and not be wasteful? You can grow your own. Okay, so everybody was encouraged to have their own victory garden to help grow fruits and vegetables. And again, that would help supply food for the soldiers. Okay, again, like we talked about, a lot of young men are being drafted or are volunteering for the war. So this is going to cause a labor shortage. So this is going to start the Bracero Project. Okay, so laborers from Mexico are going to be brought in to work on California farms. Okay, the Manhattan Project is going to be a very, very secret project. Okay, the U.S. government is trying to develop at this point and test an atomic bomb. Okay, so you see that happening right here in Los Alamos, New Mexico. Okay, at the time 2 bombs were developed, you can kind of tell which one is which, Little Boy and Fat Man. Okay, that's where we're going to stop today.